my name is Kayla Garver, and I am the current president of Kappa Delta Pi Rho Kappa chapter at Purdue Fort Wayne. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do as president. And the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to read you what the National KDP website, their description of what president is. So they say that the president presides over meetings of chapters and the executive committee. They appoint committees subject to the advice and consent of the executive committee. They perform all duties as specified in the chapter bylaws, and they coordinate the election and training of new members. So I would say I do all of those things. I do help preside over meetings and make sure that things are going smoothly. I do make sure that I talk with, they call it executive committee, but we call it the leadership team or the leadership committee. And I do talk to them quite a bit and consult with them about things. And I do follow the chapter bylaws is essentially the Constitution. And I am currently trying to work on the last part is the election and the training of new members. New officers. So that's the general description. I think that it's a little bit different with every chapter just because of what your chapter needs specifically. So I would say a lot of what I do is I'm looking down on things. I'm making sure things are still working, things are still running. You know, if something's happening and somebody said they were going to run this event and I haven't heard from it in a long time. And I say, you know what, I haven't heard from her. I need to email her. So I'll check in with her and I'll say, okay, hey, is this still happening? What's going on? What needs to be done? Do you need help? You know, I check in and make sure that everything's still running and everything's still going down the ladder. I also want to say that a big thing that I tend to do is I find problems and then I try to find solutions to the problems. So I'll say, okay, things are going good. I'll think, okay, this is a problem. Okay, so for instance, this happened with the meetings. So previously, I'd gotten a lot of feedback that if you were not present at a meeting, that you would not know what's happening in the chapter because everything in the chapter was discussed at the meeting. So you had to attend like every meeting to know what was happening. And I thought, it's not a problem they're discussing everything happening in the chapter at a meeting. It's a problem that nobody knows what's going on if they're not at the meeting. And I thought, okay, this is an issue for me because people have other things going on in their lives. People have jobs, people have families, people have classes at those times. Sometimes you just can't make a meeting. And I don't want it to be a hindrance on somebody being active in our chapter. So I looked at that idea, and I thought, okay, how do I fix that? And in that particular instance, it didn't need a whole lot of consulting because the solution was fairly simple. It was something that we'd sort of done here and there before. It was meeting minutes. It was saying, okay, after every meeting, we should type up, what happened at the meeting and call them meeting minutes and then just send them out to the members so they know what's going on. That's pretty simple. So I met with our secretary, vice president, and our main counselor, Parnan, and I talked about it with them. I said, this is a problem, and this is how I think we should solve it. And then I delegated the solution to someone. I said, okay, my secretary, I said, Erin, would you be okay with doing this? Is this okay with you to write these meeting minutes and then send them out after meetings? And she was very gracious, and she was very willing, and she said, yeah, that's no problem. It's not a big deal. I can just keep notes during the meeting. I can even type on my laptop, and then just send them out really quick afterwards. No biggie. And then that was solved. It did become a little bit more complex with COVID now, and essentially how we fix that is we change the meeting minutes into these videos. We said it makes more sense for them to see it. You know, you get that interaction, you feel like you're part of it, and you still know everything that's going on. And you can even get flexible attendance. You can still get attendance for attending the meeting, so it works with everybody's schedules. So that was one thing that I tried to fix. And another thing I tried to fix was the Constitution. I actually didn't initially realize that the Constitution was an issue. Excuse me. It sort of came about differently. It started because I found out we got a web page for PFW, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. And I said, you know, this will be great. And then I looked at it, and then most of it was copy and pasted straight from our Constitution. And I looked at it and I thought, those aren't the right numbers for our dues. That's incorrect. How do I fix that? So I ended up contacting Jessie, which if you are the president, you will talk with her quite a bit. And it's not a bad thing, and it's not difficult. She's in charge of student life, and student life is in charge of all student orgs. So you end up talking to, her name's Jessie, a lot. And I usually email her with issues, and occasionally if something becomes more of an issue, you know, I go ahead and ask her if we can meet over, you know, Zoom or something, and then we have a conversation over Zoom. And most of the time, if I meet with Jessie, I'll try to invite some of the leadership. I'll try to invite the vice president, the secretary, and Parnan, just for support. I don't try to invite a lot of people to those meetings just because she's very busy. And most of the things I meet with her about are very specific for specific things. So I talked with Jessie about it, and I said, hey, I shot her an email like, hey, what's going on? I just saw our webpage. Like, is this, some of the numbers are wrong. I'm a little confused. You know, what's going on? And how can I get this fixed? And then she's like, well, I think most of it was just taken from the Constitution. Can you check your Constitution? Is your Constitution correct? And then I said, okay, no big deal. And like, I checked the Constitution, and I was like, oh, our Constitution's not right. So that's how I realized, okay, let's change our Constitution. And then from that conversation as well, I also got to talk with her a little bit about like how I can change our webpage to be better. I could even include pictures. I want to put our social media on there. And, you know, so that's a moving part that hasn't really gone too far yet. It's actually something I wanted to talk about with one of the committees to help work on. And that's another part about being president is delegation. I will tell you, delegation is very important. It's a great word. It is a great action. Being in the role of president, you see everything. You see everything that's going on. Every problem will hit you right in the face, and it'll be right there for you. And it is so easy to just take over every problem. It's so easy to say, okay, that's a problem. I'll just fix it. No big deal. I'll just fix that. I'll just fix that. I'll just fix that. And then suddenly you have a big pile. And the problem is as the president, you need to make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed because you need to see everything. And if you're doing everything, you can't see everything and make sure that things are getting done as well. So it's really important for you to be able to delegate things like, okay, can this committee do this? Can this, you know, can somebody on my leadership help me? And it will come up, and that's okay. And, you know, I don't think that you shouldn't do anything as president. Like, I usually try to pick the things that I'm more passionate about to try to help with. Like last year I helped with trunk or treat, and, you know, I made the trophies and stuff, and because that's something I love. I love Halloween. I ended up working on the Constitution. I had the time, and it was something that really needed to get done, so I ended up working on those changes myself. But there's things that happen that, you know, I don't do, and that's okay. And there's going to be things that come up. There's going to be problems that you find that you won't necessarily know how to fix. And that's happened to me. Actually, when we were working on our committees, I realized we were going to run into a problem, because I said, we're online. If I start doing all these committees, I don't want to have to send out a meeting link to every committee every time and then have to, run every committee. I think that's silly. And so I said, I don't know how to fix this, though. I don't know how to make the committee self-sufficient. And so then that's when I called a leadership meeting, and then we all met, and I told them about it. I said, okay, this is the problem I'm seeing. This is what I'm afraid of. What do you think? And we talked for a long time, and that was a really great meeting. We were able to sort of just talk and off the fly come up with these ideas, and we ended up coming up with some really great ideas. And that's actually how we started the 6 committees, and they're going to be permanent committees so that we don't have to keep restarting things. They're going to have specific, sort of guidelines so that you kind of know what kind of things that they're going to be doing, but they also have room to grow. They have room to change a little bit. And we really wanted them to be member run, because I think it's really important for members to be active and have an active voice in our chapter. And then if we made it member run, we needed somebody to be in charge, and we didn't want elections, so we just said, okay, why don't they just pick a leader? And it can be semester by semester, so it's not a huge commitment if they don't want it to be, but they can keep doing it if they like it. And then, we just had all these great ideas, and then we were able to present that. So that was something that I found the problem, but I didn't know how to fix. I mean, technically, even in the case of the web page, I didn't know how to fix that problem either, which is why I consulted with Jessie from Student Life. I said, here's my problem. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix this. And so you don't necessarily have to have all the answers, and that's okay. You have people there to help you. You have Jessie from Student Life who can talk to you. There's also a regional coordinator from the national KDP website. His name is Thomas Almet. I met him last year when I went to Convo. He's a really nice guy, and he's very supportive. And if you ever have any questions or ideas or things you need to talk about, he's great to reach out to too. You have your chapter counselors, and they're all so great and so knowledgeable to help guide you. And you also have your leadership, and so you have so much support. So it's not, I don't want you to be afraid, like, oh no, I'm going to be in charge of everything. I'm going to have to, I have to find all these problems and then fix them. And it's like, it's okay to not know everything, and it's okay if you're having trouble with things. We've always said that, your classes and your work and your family come first. And that's just really important. And so if you're ever feeling like you can't do something, never be afraid to reach out to your leadership team and say, guys, this is going on. I need some help. Because they are there to help you. And so, yeah, making sure that you're delegating, making sure you know where to go for help, and reaching out for help if you need it is really important as the president. A lot of what I've been doing has just been trying to reorganize things. I'm trying to get our chapter super organized so that we can really grow really well. And, this is actually a really incredibly exciting time for our chapter. I think that we're really going in a really good direction. I think that we could be so great, and we're on the track to go there. So this is a great time to take over in leadership. It is a great time to be, in charge. And you'll see some exciting changes, and you'll be a part of those changes. And I guess I also wanted to let you know that if you do get elected, future congratulations, that next semester I will be student teaching. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and that's okay. And it's not anything to be afraid of, but it's exciting changes. And so I don't want to leave you out to the sharks. So next semester, when you take over, you will take over. I will happily hand you my president cap. But like I said, I don't want to leave you out to the sharks. So even though I'll be student teaching, I'll still be there for guidance. I won't be the president. I'll just be the president, sort of like guidance. I'll stick around. So like if you'll be taking over, but then I'll be able to chat with you. I'll be there for you to email me if you have any questions, if you want to know things, if you want to meet with me over Zoom or WebEx or whatever. We can chat and talk about things informally, formally. I'm a very informal person, so I mostly just chat like this. This is, I guess, why my video is very informal. But and I'll also go to leadership meetings. I'll help be there for you so that I can help answer some questions and help you understand, things that you need help with, I guess. I don't know, I'm talking in circles now, but I won't be president, but I'll be your support. I'll be your support system. So I hope that will make an easy transition. I hope that will align with the coordinating election and training new officers. I guess that'll be part of my training. So if you have any questions, if you're interested, I piqued your interest, you can always comment on this video. You can email the KDP email. You can email me personally. I don't have a problem with that. If you're a PFW student, you can just type in my name, Kayla Garver, and it'll pop up in my email. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. That's what I'm here for. If you want to pop into a leadership meeting, see kind of what things are going on, you absolutely can. So, yeah, I'm here for you. I hope that explains the role of president. Thanks.